Better not.
Good to see you, old friend.
See how this shit looks.
When this is over, let's swap mystic recipes.
Okay.
Your technology is a hair's breadth compared to the limits of sorcery. Remember that, Stark.
In his second form, that his power level would exceed 1 million. Now I understand that saying his power would exceed 1 million is a very general statement because anything over 1 million exceeds a million, but if we assume that Frieza meant in the 1 million power level range, for the sake of argument, let's just double the power of his first form that we saw in the series to 1,060,000 if it's possible. Now, theoretically, with his third form, a conservative estimate of what his power level would be around 2,120,000, double what his second form was. And this is based on the fact that if Frieza at over 1 million and Piccolo was able to have relative ease, this would mean that Frieza would have to have at least in the 2 million power level range to easily die. Also, based on performance, Vegeta seemed his third form at the very least, considering how impressed the others were with in conjunction with how confident Vegeta was after getting other Zenkai boost. And most importantly, if Goku's base was 3 million when he fought against Frieza's final form or Frieza's original, and Vegeta was extremely impressed with Goku's power, this would mean that Frieza's third form has to be under 3 million, but 2 million, which is why doubling his second form is a solid conservative estimate. And last but not least, for Frieza's final or his original form, the Daishenzu 7 estimates that his form is around 120 million compared to Goku's Super Saiyan 150 million. So what does this give us? Well, using if Frieza's initial form was 530,000 and we estimate that his second form that we saw was 1,060,000, and we also estimate that his third form was 2,120,000, this would mean that his final form or his original form would be 120 million, making it 226 what his base form would be. Now, I'm using all of these Frieza estimates to give you a clue about King Cole's power. In the manga, it was Mecha Frieza and King Cole were around the same power, and Frieza felt very confident that he was stronger than what Goku would have been on Namek. So if we use an extremely conservative measure with absolutely no exaggeration, here is what Cole's power would be if we simply make him equal to what was on Namek with no additional boosts. Now here's a little bit of a disclaimer for you guys. For those of you who believe King Cole is in his first form or his second form based on appearance, from here on out it doesn't necessarily matter. The numbers you are about to see show you how King Cole's power would multiply if you scale him proportionately to Frieza. So let's just make this before we move on in this video. And for all sakes and purposes, let's scale King Cole from what we see in Dragon Ball Z as his base form. So, from least to greatest, if King Cole's power scaling was 8, Frieza's power, his base form would be 120 million, his second form would be 132 million, his third 156 million, and his final form would be 2,820 million if we use 10th of the power scaling of Frieza's. Moving on, if power scaling was a quarter of Frieza's, his base form would be 120 million, his second form would be 150 million, making it equal to his second form, his third form would be 200 million, and his final form would be 6 billion 807 million by just using a quarter of Frieza's power. If King Cole's power scaling was half of Frieza's power, his base would be 120 million, his second form would be 180 million, his third form would be 300 million, and his final form would be 13 billion 620 million. If we literally power scale 50% of what Frieza's boost would give him. And last but not least, if King Cole scaled equally to Frieza's power, his base would be 120 million, his second form would be 240 million, his third form would be 480 million, and his final form would be 27 billion 120 million if you scale it proportionately to Frieza's. So ultimately, guys, the math has spoken. Even if you don't care about power scaling, if we scaled of the original percent increases that Frieza got, he would easily be in the billions final/original. Trunks and Goku would not have stood a chance, and Goku would have to be around 19 times as strong as he was on 150 million just to fight King Cole's form with a tenth the power scaling of Frieza. Keep in mind that I used the lowest and most conservative estimates to prove that you don't even exaggerate King Cole's power if his boosts are scaled to a tenth. This doesn't even include how strong he would be if he used, as we saw in Cooler's Revenge, and obviously that's a movie, so I'm not going to count that.
What? No top hat?
But one thing is sure, King would be uber tier if he could actually transform. And last but I need to make this very clear that the purpose of this video wasn't to discuss if he could transform, but rather to show you mathematically how. And for those of you who disagree with me in this video, I think that's perfectly fine. I just wanted you guys to realize two things. First of all, how much Frieza actually held back in the Dragon, considering his initial restricted form has 1/226 the power of his final form, and how strong King Cole would have been in theory. But please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. And remember, as I always say, to have a great day, guys, and let me know how strong you think King Cole would have been.
Far less Don't even get me started on Deadpool. That guy.
That's what I need. Golden marks, man. Fuck. Hydra belt mounted sonar targeting system. Yeah, Hydra.
I've encountered many strange creatures in my journey, Nightcrawler, but none have your heart.
Return of man. Return of man. Return of man.
I'm too busy to die. Why did I
Here I come! Just you wait.
Spiders, man.
little girl, big sword?
I'm not I might have something to do with it. It's like it's bad. It's like so bad. It's like it's bad. It's bad. It is really, really bad. Really bad. It's like it's bad. It's bad. It's bad. It's really bad. Holy shit. It's really, really bad. Really, really bad. Trying to end it, dude. Fucking live minutes.
I might not be good for property value.
Let's do this first.
One queen of limbo, ready for action.
6. Nice.
Don't forget to enable notifications by clicking on the magic bell so that you never miss out on any content that I produce. I thank you so much for all of your continued support. So without wasting any more time, let's get straight into this video. I'm going to use analogies and explanations to prove why Yamcha is a better choice to fight in the Tournament of over Frieza. So let's get started. So the first thing I wanted to use is an analogy here, guys. In professional sports, you have professional sports and certain players on these teams have different roles. In basketball in particular, you have star players on the team, and you also have, as my friend B likes to use the term, bums who come off the bench, play 2 or 3 minutes a game, and don't really contribute much. And this goes the same way into the NFL and MLB and soccer, where you have players who just aren't as valuable to a team as others. Now let's translate this into Dragon Ball. The reference I'm using here is Yamcha being a bum and Frieza being a star player because of Frieza's potential to impact a fight because of all of his abilities. But here's the thing you have to factor in. Would you rather have a bum on your team that has no negative effect on your team chemistry, or would you rather have a star player on your team that's cancerous to your team chemistry and you have to get rid of him because he's so cancerous to your team, he's so egotistical that he makes the entire team worse, regardless of his talent? And that's the point I'm getting at here. Because of the fact that Frieza has killed 3 of Universe 7's members, in Krillin, Vegeta, and Piccolo, there's immediately going to be a rift right there. And when you also factor in that, as compared to Yamcha, who is now a good guy and has been a good guy on, in the world of Dragon Ball for many years, the other thing you also have to factor in is that Frieza, technically, if you count Resurrection F and Whis not reversing time, Buu 17 and 18. So if you count them, Frieza has killed 6 of the possible Universe 10 members. And this is assuming Majin Buu did not regenerate while he's sleeping once again. But we always talk about Buu sleeping, so I'm not going to get into that. But you get the point I'm getting at here. So the point I'm trying to get at here is you have immediately going to cause a rift in chemistry, whereas Yamcha will not. This takes me into my next analogy. In finance, we study stocks and we study financial securities and bonds, and one thing we look at is risk versus reward. So is the risk of me investing in this stock worth the possible reward or the possible loss? And that is pretty much what we're getting at. Yamcha is no risk because Yamcha is a good guy, so he can't possibly make your team worse in terms of having people fight. So you have 9 guys who are guaranteed to be in the Tournament of Power, and Yamcha is the last guy. He doesn't really hurt your team because A, you don't know how weak some of the other, fighters the other universes will be. So if Yamcha possibly can knockouts there, he contributed in a small amount of ways. So that's a small reward, no risk. With Frieza, on the other hand, you have insane risk, high reward. Now, the risk is obviously that Frieza is a villain, and he can possibly do something to hurt you if something comes up later on in the series, because he clearly hates you because you and your friends have killed him before. The reward, however, is that Frieza can be a very beneficial member to Universe 7. But I thought about something, guys. I recently listened to a video with Geekdom 101 and Rhymestyle. Shout out to those 2 guys. And they did a video talking about a recent interview with Ryusei Nakao and Linda Young, who are both the voices of Frieza. Linda Young originally voiced Frieza back in the Funimation dub, but then it was later on changed to Chris Ayers. For those of you who remember the original Frieza will turn you into dust like a little monkey. That Frieza, that was Linda Young. So, yeah, I'm gonna get comments about my impression there. But the point here, guys, is in that interview with Nakao and Young, Nakao made a statement talking about how Frieza and Fox might have a potential scheme. Now, this is not confirming anything in the series. This is not inside information. This was just a statement at a panel. But what this tells me is because Frieza is evil, he has the possibility of trying to do something fucked up to you. And he has the possibility of teaming up with Frost, which means that from a logical point of view, Frieza is a massive threat to your own team's success, which means he can be an enemy to you, whereas Yamcha would just be a weak ally. Now let's take this one step further, guys. Frieza, who is pretty much the Universe 7 equivalent of Frost, do you really think they might not be aware of who each other are? You really think they're not completely cognizant that you look at a guy who has a similar color pattern, a similar facial pattern to you, and they might not team something up? Or even if they fight against each other, the risk is there. What do you get?
You know what day it is? Birthday. And this year, Mom's not messing around.
She's not messing around.
And next to Kitchen Pro with 50% more back, you can have fun. 53% more fun.
Deadpool, but that's not what a superhero does.
New Kitchen Pro. 53% more back means 53% more fun. More fun. Less rips, odors, leaks. Be happy, it's glad.
Get out of losing Yamcha. Yamcha was gonna lose anyways. It's like asking a bench player of the NBA to score you 30 points and he gives you 5. You weren't expecting him to score you 30 points. What the hell did you expect? I mean, sorry, you think Zaza Pachulia's gonna drop 50 points in a night? And for those of you who know who he is, you're probably gonna laugh at that, but you get where I'm going with it here. And I think that when you factor in all of this teamwork, it just makes no sense. Now, from an entertaining point of view, I want to explain something very clearly here. My thoughts on Frieza coming back, because I haven't expressed this yet. From an entertaining point of voice to put in the Tournament of Power over both Yamcha and Majin Buu. And why is this? A, Frieza has way more personality than those 2 characters, okay? Second of all, Frieza's a villain. So he has more personality, he's a villain. So that immediately makes him more unique. A loud, immature child, and Yamcha is just kind of a loser and the meme of all Dragon Ball jokes. But if you replace them with a guy who's a former villain, that kind of makes it more interesting because I kind of fucked up weird way, but then some of you might say, but Kwame, if you look at Universe 7, there are other characters on that team, rivals or possible enemies before. Yamcha was originally a thief and a bandit in early Dragon Ball. Tien was an enemy for the Rain Hermit School. If you look at Piccolo, he was a villain being Piccolo. Vegeta was a villain. Android 17 and 18 were villains in some point too, right? So aren't they technically villains? And the point is, yes, but there's a massive difference between them and Frieza. If you take Piccolo and Vegeta, for example, Piccolo grew a connection with Gohan and was also forced to team up with Goku to change his ways. Vegeta was forced to team up with Gohan and Krillin and Goku on Namek because it was obviously a much bigger threat. In Frieza, and eventually he changed ways when he got some nice pussy with Bulma and also had... So obviously Vegeta changed his own ways and Piccolo changed his own ways, and Tien was humbled after, you know, winning a second tournament against Goku on that technicality, and he realized what Super Senator the Crane Hermit's real intentions were. So when you factor all this in, those guys had motives to change. The androids are a little bit of a different case because obviously the future androids were more evil than the present ones, but because Cell was a bigger threat at the time, they changed, and Boo was just a loud child who had a lot of evil in him. What I'm saying is, these characters did not die before, come back, and then try to kill you again. That's a massive difference. Was given a chance by Goku on Namek. Goku pretty much disintegrated his body along with the planet exploding. Frieza came back as a metal of himself, tried to kill you again. In the alternate timeline, you killed him. In the present timeline, then this guy comes back in a movie, you know, Fusion of War. Now you're not gonna say it's not canon, but he did come back. Then in GT, if you say if that's not canon, it's still the... He tried to kill you when you were in hell, and then he comes back again. Even if you count the Platinum Eradicate scenes, this guy came back again as Ghost form from Dr. Raichi to try and kill you again. Aren't you noticing a pattern? The Nick is back to try to kill you every fucking time he gets a chance. Now, even though it will be more interesting than Yamcha in the tournament, he is fucking evil and he ain't gonna fucking change. You gave him 2 chances on Namek. He threw a Destructidus and tried to cut your cheek. He cut your cheek. You powered up, kicked his ass again, then he got cut by his own disc. You get again, he tried to kill you again. Isn't that a pattern?
I've seen better tactics from the
I'm gonna say this, guys. If Goku fucks up and brings Frieza and Frieza teams up with Fox or does something fucked up in some manner to hurt Universe 7 winning, or at least jeopardize him to some degree,
this is why
will be Goku's biggest... Because yes, I understand there are people at the tournament power who...
Honestly, I'm probably... I don't know what the fuck's been going on. I'm gonna keep playing, but... So if you want to just hop on and just shoot the shit, bro, we can. But... It's been crazy. Yeah, I'm gonna shut the stream down, dude, because this shit's crazy. All right. Let's try this.
Destruction and Zeno, they can... Frieza's not the problem. It's the fact that Frieza can jeopardize Super 7. What if Frieza wants to be a martyr? What if he's like, well, you know what? I'm gonna end up dead anyway, so I'm gonna jeopardize the entire Universe 7 team so all of you guys, so I get my revenge. So I'm never gonna exist, but I at least know that as a result of it. Maybe he'll do that. Maybe he'll be a kamikaze. Frieza's done chances and fucked it up anyways, right?
We have a bit of a
Comment section below. Did I just turn this video into a rant? I think this video's good. I'll upload it. Is by far Vegeta, because this is a character that is not a father, killed his entire race pretty much. His revenge against this very. So when you factor this, wondering how Vegeta and Frieza can coexist is such a mystery. Probably what I'm looking forward to the most in this tournament more than anything else. I heard that Frieza is coming back, and that's one positive I definitely look forward to. My point is clear, guys. Yamcha's is. I think I pretty much made sure Frieza is not better than Yamcha as an team component of Universe 7. It's a much higher risk. And as I said before, when you lose.
Come on. Don't do your shit. Just a little. This is bad.
Alright, folks, so this Frieza week.
I'll be back on
Quick small detour here to discuss a topic that's been in the community. It has been in the fandom constantly all week since Dragon Ball Super Episode 92 aired. In the preview of Episode 93, a lot of people are under that Caulifla has achieved SS2 into Super Saiyajin suit. And I wanted to here, and I wanted to do a community response. I put this out on the Geekdom 101 Facebook, facebook.com/101. Go ahead and join that community if you have not. It's a good place to have discussions. We're not really big on like memes and things like that on